have work to do.
Hello, hello. Another late night stream because I fucking can't help myself. Ah, it's grand. Not as if I have like a schedule I still keep, so yeah. Okay. So one to the right, one to the left, one here, and where's the fourth one? Oh, it's up there. I'll go down to this one first then. I'm trying to think of more topics to talk about, because it's nice to have like shit to do during streams. Don't want to just like make everyone bored as fuck. But like, literally the way I pick my topics is that I go through my TikTok favorites and see what was I looking at recently. Oh wait, no, what's down here? Oh, it's just the bouncy ones. Okay. Okay, that's one down. We'll go with this one next. Yeah, my whole process for choosing topics and shit to talk about is go through TikTok. And I was looking at the screenshot for or not the screenshot, but doing the like fucking thumbnail for one of the videos of my favorites. And it's an omniscient reader one. It's like of Dr. But with like the way the white coat was billowing back, it made me think of Seto Kaiba instead. So now I just have Seto Kaiba on the brain. Actually, probably one of my most watched videos I have on YouTube is actually Nuxtaku's Kaiba video, where he just like fucking spends the whole time talking about Kaiba, and I rewatched it the other day, like like for some reason I don't know why the fuck I fucking started like rewatching Kaiba clips. What made me think of Kaiba, but I did, and I had to go back and watch that because it's like one of my favorite fucking videos. And yeah, it's one of my favorite videos.
You're in for a little shock. You can't run.
It's just because it's just Kaiba. Like fucking, you can't go wrong with him. Boyo is literal perfection.
Come a little closer. You're in for a little
Actually,
shock.
because I'm gonna bring this up again, is fucking fanfics and shit, right? There's this really good fic that like don't worry, there's like where I am at the moment there's like no fucking ships that happen anyway. Besides obviously like fucking Yugi and fucking Taya. But no. It's it's like a I was supposed to say it's like a sci-fi fic. No, it's like a Kaiba, because like from the movie we know he's got like that big tower, right? As movies that like it actually kind of reminds me of Voltron, right? Where like like something was coming towards them, sort of thing. They're doing the very start of Voltron. It's like they're like, oh, there's this like they turn around, there's a ship there, and it turns out it's like an alien race, and they fucking get taken away, sort of thing. but basically it was like, yeah, it was like on Earth they were getting this big warning. They're like, oh, there's a big massive asteroid coming, and and Kaiba realized the only way he could like that he could stop it if they used the tower thing that could like detach and like fucking become a rocket, right? But it needed someone to pilot it, and I'm not sure like how people feel like about like Kaiba, like how like if he's like selfish, selfless type thing, but he kind of saw it as like he was the only one who could do this, right? So he ends up pilot. Yeah, there's probably a yoke up there by God. That looks so suspicious. But it doesn't matter, like, he kind of sees that he's the only one who could do it, and, he ends up... Sorry, he ends up, piloting then and, like, trying to, like, stop the meteor that, like, he sends down all the other scientists and people who are up there with him, and he pilots it. Because, like, if supposedly this meteor crashed into the planet, it would, like, fucking whole planet die, Loco would be fucking dead, so he's, like, obviously has to save little brother. But, so he ends up, like I said, piloting it, and it turns out it's not an asteroid. It's actually an alien ship, and he ends up being taken aboard, and he crashes into that ship, right? But like I said, it turns out to be an alien ship, and when he crashes it, his ship explodes, their ship explodes, and he wakes up then later, and he's like doing like prison cells. It turns out that like they're doing fucking someone else from that race doing there's like a distress signal, or the signal went like fucking disappeared, so they went to figure out what happened, and he was like the only survivor or something, like one of the only survivors, and during the crash, like this alien race, they're like meant to be like adapters, right? They over the fucking however many 100 years they've been around, or fucking not hundreds, but like thousands of years that they've been around, right? They
You're in for a little shock.
they have like artificially evolved and like changed their like genetics and shit to become like more powerful. Oh fucking God.
You're in for a little shock. Going out is tiring.
The point is when oh my fucking God.
I swear by my sword. Come a little closer.
That they artificially like evolved and shit, doing that they barely resemble their original race at all. That's how much they like fucked up their genetics and shit, and they're able to adapt to like a bunch of different climates. That, like no matter what planet they go to, they'll be able to like take over. Because it turns out they're like trying to like take over all the planets, obviously, because that's like the main fucking plot of any space thing. It's like you got this race or this fucking group or something, and they're going to take over the galaxy, over the universe. So that's still that typical type thing. But here's where she had a different symbol above her head.
Thank you for completing today's commissions.
So the arm of like one of these aliens, like Kaiba lost an arm, and then the arm of these aliens that like fucking got like knocked off during the explosion ends up attaching to him, and so now he's got like this alien arm, and it starts like he's able to like do some shit that they can't do, like put claws or fucking whatever, like it's stronger as well, and do like it's just fucking big arm, right? And but because it's like attached to him, it like starts growing more into him. So it's like at the start it's like just the arm and like he's human, but like I think the longer time goes on in it, it starts spreading up like his face and up his like neck and shit. So he discovers that this race was obviously once aquatic, because he ends up like getting gills, and like he's just proper there like, what the fuck is going on? And like they're like obviously like lack of water and shit. He's like fucking he's just there like, must stay hydrated. So yeah, I'll quickly do some artifact farming. So he's like prisoner on this thing. They're doing experiments on him because like they haven't like seen this before. That doing like this like no one's really contacted humans because they're like, oh, can't even do like fucking distance space travel, pointless, leave them alone, ignore them. I think they're too primitive, you know. But he's kind of like interested in the scientist on the ship. He's like interested in Kaiba because he's like, yo, you fucking made a rocket ship so fucking good that like it fucking blew up ours, and like, dude, you're from this little monkey planet, you know, this primitive backwards planet, and like, you pulled this off, and they're mildly impressed by him, you know. And fuck, how far along are you? Oh, not at all. Fuck it. This team can't go wrong with it.
Ready and waiting.
So he wouldn't be Seto Kaiba if he just sat there and took it, like all the experience and shit. So he ends up like he befriends some people obviously, and some other prisoners, and they end up fucking doing a prison break and shit, and they escape. And do like the kind of like leader of like the ship, and they're like in the side, it's kind of like, we don't want to hurt him. Like the scientist is like, I want experiments, and the other guy's like, he's amusing, keep him around, don't kill him. So and he ends up like, he can use like their technology because he's got the arm. So like, do any of their biometric scanning shit, he can like just like access straight away, which is like, fucking good shit, fun shit. So the person he befriended ends up dying, and he's like, oh, sad, but now he's got motivation. This is when he like figures out like the aquatic genes, right? Because what ends up happening is he crash lands on like this fucking planet, and he quickly realizes then that he's like fucking dehydrating, that like he's fucking like the air is too dry or something, like he's like fucking he's like suffocating. Boyo cannot handle it. And he's there for like a few days, and he's fucking struggling to survive, when suddenly another ship comes by, and he's like, fucking, I'm going to rob the ship and like go away, and do like escape, go back to Earth. But of course the owner doesn't like go too far away, so he like finds he finds Kaiba, and he's like, yo, were you trying to steal my ship? And then he looked at Kaiba, he's like, wait, are you one like the escapees, like the person he informed and shit? And he's like, we heard about that. And like he ends up helping, then brings him back to like, there's this like a fucking hub, like little fucking drop off points, fucking for get your fuel, get your ship parts, do like do a bit of shopping. They do is like a fucking mall, a fucking hub, space hub. And
You are not welcome here. As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows me.
So he's there for a while, and like the lad, and then he's there like, do I need to get home?
Into the
And
wind.
the fucking lad who like to save him, he's like, listen, that's kind of gonna be a problem because you say you're from like what, this planet? And he's like, yeah, it's gonna take you fucking like do with a shitty little ship with like supplies. You'll have to do so many pit stops and all this. Like you were on that prison ship, that like fucking other one for a while, and they were like using their space jumps, fucking doing hyperspeed fucking jumps over every space. Fucking any media that's in space like has this like hyper jump. So otherwise it'll take fucking forever like, for someone to get around the place. But so this guy takes him. He basically becomes like a father figure to Kaiba. He's there like teaches him like the languages and shit. That he's able to understand some shit because I think they like put a chip in him or something. That like nearly every race species out there, they all have this chip. So that no matter what language is spoken, they can all understand each other. But he's also learn like a written language, that like there's kind of an not universal one. I think if I'm remembering right, it's like
You are not welcome.
they somewhat share at least like one type of language, so that like you can like communicate properly,
Into the wind.
like written words. So he ends up like learning this language, gets a little like robot friends. Then the boyos come along. They're like, oh, we know this place is harboring prisoners, escapees. So like hand over like the guy who incited the riots and the prison break. And oh yeah, I got so happy for a second there. Fuck, there better be a dendro healer on the way. So yeah, like Kylo just basically ends up like leading a rebellion then to like fucking an uprising right then and there. They fucking barely make it by the scrape of their teeth, but they pull it off. And then it like cuts back. Like Kylo like realizes that like he can't leave everyone go and he's too involved. That like he started this, he's gonna like see it through. He's gonna help save everyone. So he ends up like leaving this like little message. He makes a video call message for Mokuba. It's like just sends it out into space, and he's like doing like eventually it'll reach him sort of thing. And it does, but it reaches him like 2 years later. And what's after happening at this stage is they're Mokuba and the like Yuzu gang. They're like having this get together. They get together like every fucking year, right? To remember Kaiba and to they just like be together, like they all come back around. So it's like doing the usual gang plus Mai and Mokuba, and for whatever reason, I think the power went out or something. So Mokuba went up to the attic and he's like looking through shit. Next thing, like he notices this old computer that he and Seto made is like fucking lighting up or something. And he looks at it and he gets this choppy message, and it is Kaiba's message, but because like the distance or the time that it's been like this meant to be like 2 years after like Kaiba quote unquote died sort of thing, and so he gets the message and it's like, oh, Mokuba doing like fucking static help stat, like it goes back to more stats and it's like I'm alive sort of thing. And the original message was like, Mokuba, like, I'm alive, I can't come back yet, I've got stuff to do, I'll be back as soon as I can, I've got to help people here, I can't abandon them. He was like telling Mokuba like, I can't come back yet, like I'll come back as soon as I can. But because the message was broken up, Mokuba thought that Kaiba was like endangered, like his like life was about to end. And because of that, he like you know, the computer is so old and shit that it just like fucking breaks down so the message is over. So when like the rest of the gang come up, they all think the Moko's lost it. As they're feeling like he's like breathing so hard, he's like falling into like depression again and all this. And Stack fucking sets Moko off. He's like, fucking leave. He's like, get out of here. Like, how dare you think I'm like making this up and like think I'm delusional when like my brother needs help, sort of thing. And they kind of leave and they're like, we'll just leave and like we'll get over it. But then they get a call from what's his name, Roland, and he's like, listen, there is a rocket being built. Fucking go. So they all like turn up the rocket and they're like, yo, Moko, what are you doing? He's like, you can't stop me. And they're like, oh, we're not leaving. He's like, well then, I guess you're coming with me because I ain't getting out. So they all go up in space and they're all there fighting and shit. And next thing, you know, the tractor beam starts up and they get dragged into the an alien spacecraft. And and it's the not evil, but doing conquering race of doing like I don't know, fucking what I would call them, Zorks or whatever they're fucking called. That's them, and they're after turning up. And this guy in particular does not like Kaiba. I think he's like on the original ship where he's like, or he was in charge of that first rebellion at the space hub. Like he was the guy who's been like getting Kaiba, and like he fucked up and doing like he just hates him. Point is, he hates Kaiba. So when he sees like these Earthlings, he's like, we're gonna keep them, and we're gonna keep them a secret from the leader, because the leader like keeps letting the rebellion get away with shit because he finds Kaiba so amusing. So he's like, we're gonna keep some down low that we've got these guys, but we're going to spread information on like we're going to leak that we have these Earthlings, and he leaked footage of them. So eventually, like Kaiba sees it, he's like, "Holy fuck, dude, that's my little brother!" And so he's like going to go rescue him now. And even though he knows like he's going to be trapped, and like everyone's like he's going to be trapped, he's like, "I know, but I can't leave him," you know. Oh my god. He's like, I know, like it most likely is, but I just can't leave him. And that's where I left off. That like Yugi and Mokuba, the gang, everyone, they're all like fucking prisoners now. Kaiba's going to go rescue them, and Kaiba's going to go rescue them. And yeah, it's such a good book though. Would highly recommend. I know a lot of people don't like fics because they see them as being like very like, oh, it's ship heavy, but this is not. This is like very good. It's just like story. The biggest relationship you have is like the fucking brother relationship, like fucking the brotherly relationship between the Kaibas, and the father son one between doing the guy who like saves Kaiba off the planet, saves Seto from that like planet. So it's good. It's good. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do another little bit of that Aranyaka quest. Maybe we'll get through this little bit so we can eventually finish part 2. Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Companions! Hooray!
The fact that there's 4 parts in this quest. Oh my god. What was I doing again? That's... this is what I need to do. Wasn't it? was doing this one. With the rune golem. But yeah, I fucking love Kaiba so much. Like, he's just so fucking funny. And I love him, like, like, I think I said yesterday, I love crossover fics, and there's one where, like, this person ends up in Hogwarts, and I've read a few fics where it's like, uh, Yugi and fucking Kaiba, or whoever the group does be, they end up in in Hogwarts, and it's always so fucking funny because Kaiba does not even believe in the heart of the cards, and he's like, they're like, someone turns up, and he's like, ah, yes, you have magic, and he's like, no, he's like, shut the fuck up, I do not. And they're always like, no, you have magic, like, you look your wand and you do magic, and he's like, no, I can't, magic isn't real, fuck off. It's like it's so fucking funny. It's always so fucking funny. I love it.
It's so much bigger in here than Paimon thought.
Of course it is. Wait, this is a moment. This is a moment for a famous phrase, is it not? Behold, thousands of years of ancient Kanriya history lie thousands of years of ancient Kanriya history lie before us. Oops, got carried away there. This is a famous quote from Iskander, Vahuma, a Vahumana sage. Wait, haven't you read his biography? I've read about it countless times in books, but this is my first time seeing it in person. I've seen it in person, and that's why I can't contain my excitement.
Look at all these vines. It must have been a really long time since anyone last came here.
According to the text named The Review of Research on Issues Related to Rune Golem in Ancient Kanriya, the last scholar who managed to get inside a Rune Golem for systematic research was Pierre Cavicavus. I'm sure you don't know this, but Per Cavicavus was one of the greatest scholars in Kshvaur's history. Cavicavus earned the rank of Herbad before hitting 30, a genuine academic genius. With his achievements, he could have become a sage sooner or later, but he met with an accident during an expedition, as research results were lost. Ever since then, Kshvaur has gone downhill. If he had lived longer, perhaps I wouldn't be worrying about expensive stay nights like this. By the way, it's my academic ambition to follow in Per Cavicavus' footsteps.
Well, forget your academic ambition for now. Our next step is to... And then we need to activate the big guy first.
Right. By activating the Rune Golem, I can get valuable experimental data, which will then serve as the basis for a breakthrough in my research. One has to make some waves to outdo one's predecessors, after all.
So let's get this thing working then. There's got to be some mechanism here, you know? The kind of thing that lights up when pressed.
I do recall there being one. According to our records, oh my god. Once the separation valve in the steering cabin is turned on, the Rune Golem will be activated. But as I told you all before, all rune machines are driven by the dark power in their cores, and the cores of the Rune Golem have been sealed underground. Even if we got into the steering cabin, the conventional method will not work. In fact, we can't even start this lift right before us, so how will we get to the steering cabin at the top?
You're right. So what do we do now?
Wait, I do have the most authoritative research permit granted by the academia, but that doesn't mean we can damage this machine as we please. As the saying goes, when one door closes, another opens, and in any case, I'm positive that the people of Canria surely took this scenario into consideration. The academia's research shows that the early rune machines also had a backup power system, perhaps because the techniques that allowed them to utilize the dark power were still in their infancy. Unlike the cores that supply almost unlimited energy, this power system comprises a series of small, powerful relays. The power source of these devices are energy blocks that store pure energy extracted from the ley lines. According to Vahumana researchers, this power system most likely had been in widespread use long before the first rune machine was ever built in ancient Canria. As I stated earlier, the rune golem is an early model, so it must have been one of those backup power systems. The core power cabin is at the bottom. Let's get down there first. Isn't this all very interesting and nice to look at? Why, hello.
Hold the line. My approach.
Okay.
Wow, it's starting up.
What do you think? The machinery in the rune golem, whether it's a relay or a trapdoor, can be powered by this energy block.
But nothing seems to have changed at all.
Well, because this backup system comprises of a series of small power relays. In other words, we have to work all the way up from the bottom, and the system can only function when all the relays have been connected. Given the damage to the rune golem, it'll be quite difficult for it to run at full power. But as we were just activating this relay, I found this in the power room. It seems to be the blueprint for a rune golem. Perhaps its maintenance crew left it here. According to this blueprint, we only need to connect several key relays to start this machine. At the very least, we'll be able to start this lift and go up to the steering cabin.
That sounds questionable.
Well, there's nothing else we can do, so you might as well try activating the lift first, yes?
Wait, aren't you coming with us?
I'll stay here and study the internal structure of the rune golem. That's also important work. Besides, I'm a scholar. There's little I could do to assist you directly in your task. But if you have any technical problems, I'll be here for you. Oh my god. According to Jazari, these energy blocks seem to be an auxiliary power source for the rune golem. Slot these into the power relays to activate them, blah blah blah. Can be removed and placed in a different spot. Okay. Up and at 'em, boys. Let's go. Okay, boyo, we're back. Thanks for the help. Back so soon? Well, I'm still studying the load-bearing structure of these components here. But it's impressive that you got the lift started. Well, come on, I've only read about this in books. Just so you know, there are no more than 3 people in the entire academia who can read this blueprint, so guessing it right does mean something. Anyway, now that the lift is working, we should be able to access the steering room above by activating the relays in the on the middle level. I see. The mid-level gear should be in the power room. We need to activate all 4 relay units. If we can't find an energy block that works, it is possible to temporarily remove them from the device. It's fine as long as they're all connected in the end. Keep waiting for you. I'll keep waiting for you here then. Go up. I know you want to. Get me up there. Okay. That would have been helpful if I realised that earlier.
Time to go.
What are we doing? I think this one over here is a single.
Time to go.
Hildrick Schwanenritter Beardfather passed away due to multiple organ failure. May he rest in peace in the foreign land. Okay. Well, why did that do? Tree, holy fuck. I don't think I can take the ones from downstairs, can I?
Time to go. Wind strider.
They're single too. What are you doing? Oh my god. Lad, I just fucking zoned out completely. Shit. God, this is so fucking weird if anyone watches that back. They suddenly like start running into a wall. Christ. You, what's up? Hadura Schwanritter Sentinel's Golden Hall. Excused by the Hall Marshal and forces for betrayal that caused irreversible damage to a machine. Despite the major loss in the night, and that the Knight Marshal's left eye was lost in the event, given Hadura was the last of their compatriots, a proper night's funeral was granted for Hadura.
Time to go.
Tree. Connect the wall in the middle. What's that mean? What about all that tree slots?
Follow the wind.
Huge tree. What's going on?
Time to go.
Hello? Hello?
The wind knows me.
Allow me. Whirling.
Into the wind.
What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Oh fuck, I zoned out again. No, 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 no. Oh my god. How fucking tired am I? Stop. I keep accidentally climbing shit. What am I meant to do? Oof. So do these. Oh.
Brings a smile to my face. Time to go.
Right. God, stop climbing shit. What am I doing?
Time to go.
I am too tired for this. In fact, I keep running into shit. I swear, I keep zoning out, like, fucking starting to fall asleep. And I wake back up and I'm fucking running into a wall. Christ. Yes, that's all well and good. Yes, okay. Isn't this? It's probably the gemstones I keep picking up and dropping. Oh no, it's these. Okay, and I'll do a wish before I go too. Christ, this is a short stream, but like I'm just too fucking tired. I'm not working tomorrow, so I can do it then. And do more then. Like, Christ, I am actually so tired today. After the 10 hours Friday, the fucking whatever the fuck yesterday was, and then like another. Well, I did. It was maybe 4 till 11, but I managed to get out at 10 because it was so quiet. Not like quiet all day. I mean, like we're actually decently busy all day, nothing like yesterday. But it was like our tables were full. There's always like people there. We actually had to take people in the restaurant, but because like there's no luckily there's like no bookings or no birthdays or anything going on, so we're able to just like get them in there, which is grand. But yeah. So I'm going to leave it off here. I'm sorry I've done fuck all, and I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I wasn't paying attention, and I don't know where the fuck I even put the gemstones that I fucking meant to have. I don't know. See ya. Bye bye.